agree it's timely, Mr. Secretary, that we start having it, but it is not as far as the administration has been concerned, it's not start having it. He has it in his budget. He wants to enact it immediately this year, and if the Constitution is followed by June 30th. I don't think that's enough time. That's part of the problem. The other problem is that we need to let business know that we welcome them in Pennsylvania. And our tax structure, yeah, it is not easy for a Chamber of Commerce official, you're right, to say what I say on TV, but we don't lie to our clients. We tell them the truth. There are a lot of good reasons to locate in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, state government has not been a full partner in it for a very long time, and it needs to get control of itself, and it needs to do it quickly, especially as it relates to relationships with the business community in general.
In light of some of the things you folks have just discussed, someone in the audience says, so many examples have been cited tonight, their words, of our being unprepared for the expansion of this industry, so why not have a moratorium so we can better educate ourselves about its impacts and our need for improved plans, regulations, protections, etc. Anyone want to jump on?
Go ahead. Let me just give one thing on the moratorium. I think the greatest thing that New York State has ever done for Pennsylvania is put a moratorium on filling gas. I can name 6 companies off the top of my head that were looking to open a facility in New York when that moratorium hit, and they had already looked at Lycoming County or Bradford or Tioga. They decided, no, we're going to go to New York. That moratorium hit. Guess whose phones were ringing, and guess where they're locating now? In Lycoming, Bradford, and Tioga. So I think the governor of New York, Mr. Patterson, should keep that moratorium in effect for 10 more years, and we should continue to drill.
And if the West Virginia governor were here, he would say, please, put a moratorium in Pennsylvania, right? One of the things that I think often gets lost in these discussions is drilling for natural gas is not new in Pennsylvania. The Secretary would know better than I the long history of regulating this industry. This is not new. The moratorium is something that, again, back to the previous conversation, as a native Pennsylvanian, I'm proud of what we are able to accomplish, not that we need to shut things down in order to get our act together. I think we're up for the task to get our act together without something as knee-jerk and, frankly, premature.
Anyone else want to comment on that? Mr. Young, Senator Young?
Sure. The idea of a moratorium just to stop everything, I would like to think of a nice way to address that, but it just doesn't strike well with me at all. I mean, we may have some issues, and we may have had some arguments here, or they're not arguments, discussions here, but at least I think the consensus of everybody on this panel is that we can go forward with this, and if we're just to say we can't make a decision on this and we can't make a decision that suits somebody, so let's just stop. I mean, with that attitude, nobody would have ever crossed the Mississippi to explore the West, and we can't do that. It just is a situation which is unacceptable. Plus, if anybody stops and thinks about it, and I'm a lawyer, and Mr. Tice is a lawyer, so if there's a moratorium for everybody out there that has a contract with a gas company, or you have a producing well right now, I'll tell you, this will be the Lawyers Full Employment Act for the United States.
Anyone else?
Well, although that may be good for us lawyers, from the perspective of the clients that I work with, I think that nobody wants to see a moratorium in place. I mean, I think here on Earth Day we can acknowledge the need for responsible development, preserving environmental quality. We all acknowledge the need for that. But the clients that I work with have been struggling financially. These are dairy farmers who have been dealing with low dairy prices for years and years, and right now, as I said earlier, right now they're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The last thing we want to see, at least my clients want to see right now, is somebody to shut that light off.